Today I have the pleasure of being joined by one of the most popular menswear and I would say fashion icons, young icons of the YouTube and Instagram landscape of our time, James. James, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So I dove a little bit into kind of my world, which was watches, on your channel. I wanted to dive a little bit more into kind of your world, talking a little bit about menswear. You know, I feel like watches and menswear go hand in hand, right? It's an appreciation for the finer things is what I like to call it. Now, in your kind of hobby, or I guess in your space, is watches something that is kind of particularly brought up and collected?
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal. As you say, they do go hand in hand. There are people who love watches but don't particularly care for clothes. There are people that love clothes but don't particularly care for watches. But generally, it's something that, for example, when I host an event, people will comment on each other's timepieces, pass timepieces around and have a conversation around that.
That's awesome. I guess going back, right, what kind of got you, first of all, interested in menswear to begin with?
That's a good question. It's definitely been a long, progressing journey constantly. I think people might expect that, you know, my dad always dressed in this very classic sense and he taught me everything I knew, or I've been dressing this way since I was 8 years old, but neither are true, really. It's something that I got into more as an adult, simply because I loved the way that it felt to take an effort in your appearance and find clothes and learn about clothes, and just the way that I would, you know, be received when I would dress up nicely for dinner or to go to work or really any occasion in life. Just dressing slightly more nicely than everybody else, I just made me feel good. I felt proud about myself and I was well received by other people. So I just kept going down that rabbit hole and decided to share my passion and share my experiences on YouTube.
That's awesome. And, you know, I share a lot of the kind of same sentiments, and nobody really taught me this kind of stuff, right? Which is really, I think part of the fun is exploration, right?
I agree. It seems to not be the norm, though. Like when I talk to a lot of the people that watch my videos, they like it because it reminds them of their dad or the military or school. For me, it was almost kind of a rebellious thing, actually.
That's interesting you say that. So for me, it was totally the polar opposite. I mean, my dad's a blue-collar worker, so he never wore a suit. I think I saw him one time at a wedding wear a suit in his life, and that was pretty much it. But there's something about even just dressing up that feels so good, and it's kind of akin to wearing a really nice watch. I say it all the time. There's a power to kind of being a little bit more methodical in the way that you dress and the way that you approach life, even in all aspects. But I think especially in the way that you present yourself is really, really important. Now, I know that you have a pretty special watch. Do you want to talk a little bit about your
Yeah, absolutely. Watch? So this watch has been in my family since 1951. I'm probably the third or fourth man in my family to wear this thing. The actual brand, I don't believe exists anymore. It's Bernex. It was a Swiss company. It doesn't exist anymore as far as I know. But this was actually a retirement gift for my great-grandfather that he was given in the 50s. And it really was given to me, I think I was 16. And I liked it when I was 16 and I would wear it here and there. But, you know, this is an old timepiece. It needs maintenance. It needs care. Sure. I didn't give it the maintenance and care it deserved. Until I got more into the menswear side of things and started my channel, then I really found a new appreciation for the watch. And now I take great care and I always get it maintained and it's working really nicely now. It is a wind-up watch. I've wound it up for the day now, but I do enjoy that kind of ritual of every day in the morning I put this on. I don't sleep in it, obviously. Just winding that up and getting started for the day. And I will say it's a very small, very subtle watch. It's got this kind of burnished gold appearance now from over the years, but it's rare that I'll sit at a bar with it on my wrist and people won't comment on it or notice. Whether it's man, woman, young or old, you don't really need to know about watches necessarily to find this interesting or to pick it out.
Now, one thing that's, I think, so cool is that this is your only watch in your collection, as far as I know, right? And you claim to be a one-watch guy. What is it about owning just one of something?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm not really a collecting type person, and I've moved a lot throughout my life, and I continue to keep doing that. So I don't love owning a lot of possessions, and I love the simplicity of it as well, because I know that if I want to go down a rabbit hole, you start having all these different styles of watches, and it just becomes another decision that I make every day. So I kind of find it quite liberating just to have one, and maybe there will come a time when I want a second style, something that's maybe very different. For example, I I can't wear this underwater. Right. I don't spend any time underwater at the moment. But if there comes a time in my life when I do, then maybe we'll look at something more suitable for that. Yeah. But I also like that I can wear this anywhere because although it's valuable to me, it's not, going to be like a threat. If I'm wearing this, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, I'm not going to get robbed for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one thing that you mentioned in your kind of personal style is the freedom of it, right? Not being attached to personal things, right? And it's one thing that I say also about kind of the watch collecting sphere. There's no more real rules to this anymore, right? Like you don't need to own 3, 4, 5, 15 watches. Yeah. Actually, in the old days, it was very much you owned one watch and you owned it for life. And that was kind of just the way that you went about things. Now, do you enjoy that freedom aspect, I guess, in also your menswear as you do in your collecting?
Yeah, I do. And I'm very aware of a message that you send with your clothing. For example, if I am wearing a suit more traditionally like you are with a shirt and a tie, I'm aware that sends out a certain message. If I wear a suit with like a wife beater underneath like Don Johnson, that sends out a totally different message. I still get to wear the suit. It depends, how do I want to be perceived? How do I want to feel as well? I naturally feel a little bit different wearing a tie and dress shoes than I would wearing a pair of cowboy boots or a pair of sunglasses, all these different ways that you can wear something.
Yeah, no, totally. I love that. Again, love the freedom aspect of it, right? I know people get so kind of, how do I put it? I guess they get so worried about what other people will think that they're so afraid to take risks.
And I doing things correctly.
That is, I think, the number one thing. Listen, you'll make mistakes along the way. It's the same in watch collecting. I tell people all the time, it's impossible to get it right the first time around.
I think often you make more mistakes trying to do things the right way as well.
And there's a certain, listen, one of my favorite quotes is, I believe it's from Mark Twain, is a wise man learns from other experiences and a fool learns from personal experience, right? But there's something about learning from personal experience and your own kind of evolution as a man that is really kind of enjoy.
I don't think you can really avoid it, actually. You can avoid it to an extent. I think wisdom is about not repeating the same mistakes once you've had them and you've learned that lesson.
No, totally. So I guess one thing that I always tell people in the watch collecting space, right, is to put yourself out there. People are so afraid to attend watch meetups or go to a store like ours at Berdeen's Jewelry because, they're afraid of the way that they'll be perceived or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
What is kind of your message to maybe people of our generation or even older generations that are so afraid to put themselves out there that they just don't even try to begin with?
Yeah, I think that often the thing that people are hiding or the way in which they're trying to blend in with others and fit in is the thing that's holding them back the most. Actually, the thing that makes you the most different, perhaps one of the things that you're most self-conscious about, is what's uniquely valuable about you. Because just in the same with watches, one of one is always going to be more valuable than one of a million.
Right. Yeah, totally. I think that's what's lost on a lot of people, right? Is the individuality is what makes you special as opposed to kind of just trying to be perfect and fit in with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. James, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I wanted to get your insight.
Pleasure.
If anybody wants to find you, I'm sure most people already know you. It's James Gent Z.
Gent Z.
Yeah, Gent Z on YouTube, Instagram, and I guess you do TikTok as well.
I do everything basically, I'm all over the place.
That's the one area I haven't done yet, but I have to do TikTok, honestly. It's the biggest platform.
I just post on there and I don't even look at it.
Really?
Yeah, I avoid the brain rot. Just post.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this or you have any comments for James, please feel free to reach out on his social platforms. Instagram, I guess, is probably the best way to get in touch with you. And if you enjoyed this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. My name is Marco for Berdeen's Jewelry. I'll see you guys in the next one.